And you're a star. Wow, look how photogenic you are, man. You're gonna be famous. Right. Okay. Now I did that. Now I go here. I go this. And I say, oh, hey, wow. That's very cool. And oh, God. There we go. There it is. Okay. And oh, I ain't done. Yeah. Okay. So we're doing a show now. Yes. Yes. This is happening. So, and look, that's us. Ah, cool. Okay, so I believe the subject today was the impending doom of humanity and cancellation of all the jam band shows that we know and love. We will run down the list, and anything new that we see, our many viewers will be able to add in the conversation as we go.
As of right now, start at the top. So, J-Rad, Joris is almost dead. They just canceled. It says all of spring tour, but I don't know if that means spring tour. They just canceled everything that they had. Phil Lash's birthday run at the Capitol Theater, that's from the 13th to the 15th, that's canceled. Humphreys yesterday they canceled this Iceland thing, and then they just canceled all their California shows, postponed all the California shows. The Flu Houston Swami Tour, they just canceled everything through March through the 27th. Spafford just canceled the rest of their winter tour. It had the Northwest and some California dates, that's it. Pigeons and Goose just canceled the rest of their tour together. However, there's some, all the stuff in April is still on for now. I think, as Trump said, no air travel for 30 days. I think everyone's just on a holding pattern for 30 days. Galactic canceled the rest of theirs. Bob Weir just canceled his March dates. And that's good for Bobby because that's no limit. Twiddle just canceled their Pacific Northwest dates in March. Locally, Virginia just declared a state of emergency, which means, affecting me directly, more than likely the Papadocio show at Broadberry will be canceled, but don't quote me on that.
We only suspect. We also hold high concerns for other upcoming shows, but we have no information on them.
Talk hasn't announced anything with the Jefferson show. I don't know what Chad was going to do tomorrow.
But I have an extra ticket.
Yeah. I guess Pete Brew at Harvester down in Rocky Mount, they haven't said anything. I haven't seen that. Evan Townsend, the guy that comes strapping young lad, the metal show, he canceled the Ram's Head show.
We need to do a little speculation on the idea of what a large gathering is.
Well,
the Jefferson a large gathering? Because that seems to make sense.
Yeah, Jefferson holds over 450, so there's that. New York has just said gatherings of I believe 250 or more. So you have to look at the space. The new deal has not said anything about the show at 5 Points in Roanoke, which is coming up on the 19th. That's already been a rescheduled show. I don't know, man.
To see the beauty show in Richmond at
The whole
that whole
thing,
thing.
the St. Patty's Day thing, that's not happening.
And 30 days out from today, which is the 12th, still leaves the outside chance that Goose and Pigeons will not cancel.
Right. There's one man that has said they're pushing through. There's one man that said they are pushing through.
Who does not give a fuck?
They don't care. Marvin has not said anything. In fact, they released it yesterday. It was like Onward.
They're heading out.
I don't know if it's going to be up tomorrow. It might be up to these little clubs that they play, because Marvin will play anyway. They're just like that. That's
apparently
what they do.
They're just going to do it on fire in the jaws of death.
Yeah.
At
Yeah. So
a pretty decent clip.
Good on Marvin. You know.
I do love them so.
They can play in front of 5 people and rip it. You know.
Oh my God.
You know, they can play in front of 200. They don't care. They still care. That being said,
at this point, this might be a good time to diverge the conversation into the idea that there are now suddenly a great many people who are going to be at home with a lot of time on their hands. And perhaps now would be a great time to discuss awesome bands that are out there that are putting their stuff up for free on, for example, the Internet Archive, archive.org, is putting up a lot of shows. Nugs.net is not free. Spotify has like bullshit. I don't know how all that stuff works. The Internet Archive is where it's at, man. I mean, if you want the lossless fucking FLAC files of the show you saw last night from the soundboard, and all the Grateful Dead shit from ever.
Goose is putting up a live video here soon with Jeremy from Pigeons of, I don't think it's the whole set, just some tunes that they played last night. Pro Shot. So go to Goose's
and that
Facebook
might be
for that.
And that might be band number 1 on the list of bands of, hey, now that you got a little bit of time, maybe you ought to check out Goose.
Oh, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Goose is pretty rad.
Goose is awesome. But, this is how it's going to be, because you can just forget anything. Now, if Papa does play, you better damn well believe I'm going to be there. But
it was exceedingly wise of Goose to have all of their beautifully shot and recorded shows put up for free on YouTube at length. Oh, what? Probably 100 hours now?
At least. I mean, but the thing about it is, get used to it. Get used to going back and reliving old, because there is nothing.
There's gonna be a little bit of a lull, and this
gives
people an opportunity
for Goose to, they've been releasing singles. Get back into the studio, record a lot of those songs, and get a new album out.
It's time for a lot of bands.
Yeah, I think especially
what's considered the Source going to do too.
They've already got that. they've got that acoustic hybrid.
Rewrite the dynamic of time.
Right. But for all you bands out there and stuff like that, come on, it's easy enough to record. So go in your house, your practice room, whatever, and just start going over tunes you've been playing on the tours, and get some construction around them, and start getting ready for a new album and release that.
So let's have a back and forth on some bands. No, let's try to keep it kind of localish,
Yeah.
that are worthy of talking about and eventually seeing once once humanity emerges from the apocalypse.
Well, there's one right now that's big here, and they're getting bigger, and it's such a. I really hope they don't cancel it, and as of now, they haven't. But Shad Wolf and their album releases tomorrow. It's called The Dog Days of Disco.
With Monty too.
And well, the thing is, I've heard the album. It's fantastic. And Shad Wolf is one of those bands that appeals to a very wide range of listeners, from the punk to, in fact, to the jam, to the metalhead, to everything. And it's just a shame because they worked really hard on this album, and I'm hoping that this doesn't get canceled. If it does, their album, that doesn't mean their album isn't going to get released.
Mm-hmm. It means you need to check
it out. Of course you can stream it and stuff. But as everyone's saying, I love this. Everyone's talking about how, well, if the band isn't touring, then go buy their merch. Yeah. It's twisting arms for you guys to buy merch at the show. So, yes, buy their merch. But if you see Pete or Sally or Pablo, they're going to have the new album. Just get it.
Yeah, and they're awesome people.
Yeah.
You ought to say hello to them and tell them you love them.
Yeah. And say they're awesome because I don't know what's going to. There's a lot of bands right now and a lot of venues right now that are going to go under because of this crap. And for me, that's the apocalypse. I mean,
yeah.
Anything else is just what. Although the NHL did suspend their season, that might be a blessing for the Capitals. But
another one landing a little bit close to home is our pal Joe Frazier, who has I think 100 bands now.
Yeah.
Has a couple of upcoming shows that were super duper interesting. We ought to keep our eye open on them. That would include Bandit Mice. Was going to be at Black Swan downtown, I think it was. That was on the 24th. We don't know yet. I'm just saying it's coming up.
Yeah.
And also Diseased Earth on the 27th. That was on a Friday. I don't recall where that is. But those are a couple of shows that are worth keeping an eye on. And if you can't go out, well, by golly, you ought to know about those guys and the fact that they exist and have a bitchin' split with Cut the Architect's Hand, which is somewhere on my mantle.
Well, that's the other thing too. Local venues for us, like Homecoming, Pompeii Lounge, Baja, and that's just insane. Even places in Roanoke, Martin's, the Southern and stuff. I'm not talking about the Jefferson and Major. I'm talking about smaller venues that rely on these, less than 200 to just over 200 capacity places that rely on this daily thing and stuff like that. How many of these are getting down? And we don't know. But the fact of the matter is, with downloading and shit, these things rely on two things: touring and merch. And
a critically important third thing, which is knowing who the hell they are.
Yeah.
That's our job on Earth right now, is to explain to you why you need to know who these are.
The other one, and the big one around here, the Judies.
Oh, God, yes.
Bless them. The Judies have a small tour going up. They already were supposed to be opening for Southern Culture. That was canceled. And, these are people that make their living through music. Sure, they have a second, don't quit your day job.
To be clear, that's the Judy Chops. Judy Chops.
They're kind of a big deal. If you've ever been to Red Wing or stuff, they always get the largest crowd. Hey, Red Wing, stop putting them in small print. Stop it. Not going to go there. Just stop. They're bigger, you know it. Stop it. Stop. Look at you, steel wheels. Okay.
moving on to bigger things, some other bands. So, like, let's briefly discuss how totally fucking awesome Stafford is. And why they are the center of the universe, and you should be a part of that swirling vortex. But we're going to do a whole show on that at another later soon date.
Yeah. So that's the thing about the shame of all this is we have just gotten out of the winter, and here we come into festival season, and a lot of these bands, these up-and-coming bands that have been touring, it takes years to get to a point to where you are a household name in the scene. And something like this can be crushing for just getting back out on the road. Because,
right, just to take a minor digression, let's look into Eggy, who just opened for Stafford on this part of the tour, right? We don't know what's happening to them, except that they're awesome and they're an up-and-coming band, and they've been riding along with all of these
awesome bands.
Freaking awesome bands.
They're just riding along with Twitter.
Right? Like,
so they got outlasted a little bit.
So, like, the carpet rolls out, there they are, they've got the freaking, and then, everybody has to go to sleep for a month. So go check them out, too.
Yeah.
Totally worth
it. From the Northeast, and again,
that would be here.
But, it's little bands like that, too, quite honest. You might never hear them or do anything like that. But these are bands that you never know. They could be the second coming. You don't know. But if you're in the scene, you do. The band that has played at Pompeii Lounge, Tweed, they have a brand new album out. And they have all these shows coming up. They're supposed to play at Doc Taylor's. Again, Virginia just declared a state of emergency. I don't know what capacity it is or anything like that, but they're screwed. So
unless you go out and help them,
or you get online and you go check them out and keep supporting them on these hiatuses. I just, Scott music secondary and stuff like that. Is it though? In this day and age? I don't know. I get it. Safety first. I'm not going to argue with whatever's going on. I'm not even going to go into what this means or, the whole world's coming to an end or anything like that. My advice, drink them.
I am not a statistician, as my former boss, a statistician, will happily tell you. However, I do note that there was a recent study that says that going to attend live music extends a person's lifespan. And considering that unless you're an old bastard like me, the coronavirus probably isn't going to whack you. So, assuming that, we're not violating any safety regulations or anything like that, eventually it's possible that going out to see live music counterbalances the statistical probability that you're going to die of the coronavirus.
But, this is why we can't have nice things. Because, if you're showing all these signs, let's say it wasn't even coronavirus. It pisses me off when I'm working door at the bar I work at, and in comes somebody sneezing, coughing, rubbing all over the place. It's like a little kindergartner coming into class because the parents didn't want to deal with them. And they've got the fucking cold, and now all of them, everyone's sick and stuff. This is basics.
Oh, hey,
this is basics.
Perhaps we could do a little behavioral modeling. What if I were walking in the room with a cough?
Well, that happens every 10 minutes.
Does it now?
It does.
So go on.
Do please tell us more about.
No, I'm just saying, this is basic stuff. Like, wash your hands. Hopefully, this all gets us as a society to wash our hands more. Right? If you feel like you're getting sick,
don't go out.
Right? Yes, it affects money. Yes, it affects all of. This is the world we live in. I'm not going to say go to a doctor. I get it. No one's got insurance. If you do,
No one's got insurance. Let's stick to hedonistic leisure and jam bands.
oh, hedonistic leisure. Well, I mean, I guess now that we're boxed into a house, hedonistic leisure is the way to go. I can't. We're going to see what happens here in the next 30 days. I'm going to say that there might be a blessing here that it's happening now. Right now is honestly when the lull for shows and stuff like that is in. So that's the way I.
Go on.
That's the way I look at it. Is there a good time for this to happen? No. Is this the time? Now for sports and stuff like that, this is some of the best time of the year for sports and all that stuff. So, if you're a sports fan like me, this really sucks. But we'll talk about multi-millionaires and this and that and the other. When it comes down to it, here's it. This is affecting the live music scene a lot.
Let's talk about other alternatives to sports as well. In addition to
Go outside.
what about the magic of esports, where one can play video games and kill each other from the comfort of their own couch and have millions of others watch at the same time?
Well, judging from my incredible knowledge on esports,
You know Dr. Disrespect.
I do, and I like commentary on it. But esports has much meaning to me as the language of Greece.
Well,
So I'm going to leave all of that up to you.
here's
And
30
how
seconds.
you can make your life better through esports.
Go to twitch.tv and learn how to stream video games and watch people streaming video games. It's terribly exciting. Occasionally, you'll even see me doing it because right now, because we're all trapped in this hell, I'm doing a playthrough of some of my favorite games, to include Faster Than Light and Kerbal Space Program, and perhaps others. Hearts of Iron 4, probably because I seem to be the clone of Hitler. Oh God, I said that live. Okay, moving on. Your turn.
No, you're talking about esports.
Yeah, well, no, I just dug my grave. Thank you.
All right, Miller. Well, for everybody else, I don't know. I mean, for me and most of my friends, we're always broke. So there's not a lot we can do, but I do know that most of the time, I don't know if we can box ourselves in or not, but basically what everybody's saying is box yourself in.
What about indiscriminate sex? Do we still have that?
Well, I said that would be out because, I mean, if are we going to the lowest denominator of the human condition to figure out how far we can push this?
Well, let's be honest. I'm dressed like a fucking unicorn here. That's a stone prophylactic, right?
It's a hazmat suit. But it is. I mean, because frustrating times. I'm just every time I've gotten on Facebook today, I'm going on again. I'm waiting for the next. Thing. Mo just put out something 12 minutes ago. They have now postponed the remaining dates of the winter tour starting today, March 12th. And will look to reschedule shows in Park City, Utah, Missoula, Montana, Aspen, Colorado, Collins, Colorado, Frisco, Colorado, as soon as the area is leaving. So most of these were coming to the end of their winter tours, and most of those end up in the west, northwest. It's just normal. That's the way those things happen. So those are now all postponed. I think, you know what, when we say canceled or postponed, it just means the same thing. It might be canceled, it might be postponed. It just means they're not going to happen in the next 30 days. So be ready for that.
I think we need to project 30 days of poopy butt disruption.
30 days of poopy butt disruption?
That's a professional term.
What is it? Must be the unicorn ones. And they just keep coming. Pigeons is doing their full live stream from the March 7th show at the Riviera in Chicago. They're doing a live stream tonight. Expect a lot of that. Let's see. One of my favorite bands, King's X. There's this thing called Cruise to the Edge. It's kind of a stupid thing, but they're playing on it. And now that's all up in the air. Anybody going on cruises right now? What are you doing? Really?
I recommend the escargot.
Okay, Talk, released 17 minutes ago. We are disappointed to have to announce that this weekend's co-bill shows with the Motet will not happen as planned. As you may have seen, 930 Club will not be hosting events until April. After recommendations from the DC Mayor, we have moved the DC show to May 14th. Tickets for the original date of 3/13/20 will be honored. So people are now going to May. That's interesting. They have a date for their reschedule. That is May 14th, opening for the Motet at the 930 Club now instead of March 14th. Now, Talk has a show at the Jefferson
On March 25th.
on March 25th.
Which is a Wednesday.
It's going to be interesting. Here's another one. Wilco has just postponed the entire North American tour.
Oh, wow. It's terrible. Who will cover their songs?
Wilco? They just came out with a new album. I'm not a Wilco fan, but I know a lot of people that are. Let's see, still going through here. Oh, the Brooklyn Bowl, who became very successful in New York. It's a bowling alley / live music venue. In Richmond, there's one called River City Roll. They have nothing to do with it, but it's kind of an in thing. Brooklyn Bowl was so successful, they were going to open a venue in Nashville. That event is now postponed.
However, circling back to how awesome Spafford and Eggy are, both of their recordings from the Brooklyn Bowl are up on archive.org in the live media file section. A little hard to find, but I know they're in there, I saw. And I heard, and they're awesome.
Still looking. I don't know. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And it will be interesting. Again, the Richmond show is the Richmond Gathering, like we said before. That's been canceled. A couple of our favorite bands were supposed to be playing that. That's been canceled. DVD is supposed to play that. Now, as far as I know, the bars and stuff in our area are still open for this. Pompey Lounge has something coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Tonight, Khaled is doing his show at Pompeii.
That's not true.
No, it totally is true.
No, Khaled. Is that tomorrow? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Tyler Johnson is doing his stand-up.
He asked
tonight at
me
5.
to wear some of my best stuff for moral support. I'm quite sure he's not going to make jokes about it, though.
Yes.
Is he going to do that?
Anyway, and so I assume that everything coming up, whether it be this weekend for people celebrating this weekend, or on Tuesdays, which is the thing, the real St. Patty's Day thing.
Right, yes. Amateur night.
Amateur. Oh, St. Patty's, Cinco de Mayo, New Year's Eve, amateur. Stop doing that.
Might be time for the Corona cookie onesie hour.
Corona cookie one. What are we gonna do on Cinco de Mayo? You could have a Corona Cinco de Mayo thing. Hell, by that time, I don't know.
How unfair is it that this stupid disease, which looks like a basketball with flowers growing out of it, somehow gets tagged against a beer and...
Because people are stupid.
I mean...
Did you see? I'm watching CNN the other day, right?
By the way, we are going way off the path, bro.
I'm sure. They're taking live phone calls, and this caller comes in, and they're like, yeah, I've got a question about Chinese food. Is Chinese food something that, well, is it safe? Right. And the panel is giving this validity. So they're like, well, that's a good question, doctor. What the? Look, they're saying, I don't know what they're saying. You know what? Just listen to music. That's it. That's it.
Yes.
Just stay in your house, listen to music, go out to your local bar, support your local bartenders and venues, listen to music. I don't care if it's live or not. It is now up to you bars to start playing quality music instead of having background. Music is the weapon of the future.
Shit, there's like people watching us. Don't look.
People watching us?
No, that didn't happen. So, to return to the discussion of awesome bands that you need to know about and events, let's discuss. No, I'm talking about festival season, bro. What about that? Speaking of awesome, and speaking of bands that are canceling that you may still yet have an opportunity to see.
Right now, it will be very interesting. I mean, South by Southwest canceled. Coachella. I also heard they're not giving refunds to South by Southwest. This ought to be good, right? We're going to see how this one goes.
They bought the tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say let them crash.
I think there's probably small print on there, like no refunds, no exchanges. But anyway, I know for us, our first festival is coming up in May. And gosh, that's cutting it close.
I know, man.
In May, but Dome Fest, which is Pigeons Festival. And however you feel about pigeons, I know they get a little silly and stuff like that. But they're fun. And damn, they bring in some talent to their festival. And you got Aqueous, Magic Beans, Spafford, up-and-comers, Yam Yam, Eggy is going to be there.
Is Feng Shui going to be?
Feng Shui, I don't think there's some Slavish going to be. But good festival. Another one that comes a little later, Mountain Music Fest,
Yeah.
And if something's going to be there, let us be there.
I do believe they were.
Mountain
We
Music
can
Fest in
still
West
be.
Virginia, which is.
Look at how prepared we are.
Well, Mountain Music Fest is a good one. That is June 4th. And
Includes talk.
talk's going to be, yeah.
Infamous Spring Dusters.
Infamous Spring, yeah, okay, Lex is not going to be there. It should be there, Big Something Talk. Wood Brothers, Infamous String Dusters, for all you bluegrassy guys. Black Garlic, going to be at Pompeii Lounge in August. So,
oh my God, they were so fun. Valley Fusion, right?
Fusion.
Well,
Valley Fusion right now, they're up in the air. We don't know what they're going to do, but they're a fun one. They're usually in August, September.
yeah, a little bit of we have had the luxury of attending Valley Fusion a couple of times now, and yeah, and Lit. Oh, dude, yeah. Let's.
I like teasing.
Yeah, let's talk for a minute about how much we love Lits, and they're awesome, and you should go see them and listen to everything they do. I am addicted to everything they do because they're, the greatest, but, that's not my opinion. I'm pretty sure that's scientific. And it has to do with Austin's jacket. Makes them the greatest ever. Quite sure of it. They are an excellent band, and they are totally worthy of checking out, which you totally should do. Also, good pals with them is the Natalie Brooke band, which has
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
She was the what do you call it? The musician at large in Valley Fusion. She actually got up and played with Goose and Litz, and oh my God, she's so rad. And
she played with the Fridge. I think she might have played.
I don't.
There's another one, the Fridge. THRYG.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Check them out. Again, I'm talking about bands. It still costs $5 to $10 to go see these bands in little venues.
Yeah.
And this is the up and comer. This is where the up and comers are coming from. And you can talk about amateur hour and this and that and the other. These guys know what they're doing. I saw a band called Leon Trout the other day. Going places, right? Going places. So, if anything, and we can't get to these huge venues to see these now bands that are top tier, talking like Almfest, DS9, all of it. If we can still get to smaller venues and go see these up and coming bands that are playing for, we're talking not 100 people, we're talking 10 people for free.
And perhaps in the wake of, the cancellation of all of our plans and all of that, it's going to be a great time to look at all of the abundance of beautiful bands that we have right here in this area, to include.
Well, Disco Risque also canceled their Pro Renata. I think, was that a CD release? No. Was it? I don't know if it's a CD release show or not. They canceled that. So, again, even for bands that are local to us and playing these, Pro Renata is a brewery, which is, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to a lot of this. But if there's something out there, look, I'm not saying go out to big gatherings. That's not what I'm saying. Because I'm just saying there's a consequence to all this. And I get it. If the consequence is everyone dying from the coronavirus, then, But I guess
if the consequence is that, wow, we all learned a lesson, then it's going to be time to get back out there and keep doing this, to keep this scene vibrant and alive.
I want to believe at some point this will be over. Like the coronavirus thing will we'll get on through. We have learned a lesson as a society. This and that, at a minimum, we all wash our hands, and stay healthy. But, if it does, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of bars / venues and stuff like that are going to go under. 30 days is a long time, and such a shame. Because if there is one scene that is hugely vibrant, it is the jam band scene, which encompasses a lot of styles of music and stuff like that. So it just makes my heart hurt for a lot of these bands that throw every dime they have into putting their music out, going to shows, looking for $5 in the tip jar to put in for gas money.
Doing it for the one guy who's bobbing his head. Oh my God, man! Thank God somebody like her. Maybe I'm that guy. I try not to do that anymore. Actually.
What is it today? Psycho killer.
No, you don't have to. How would they just do it?
They all just do it anyway. Yeah. But I just.
So hey, while we're still doing this, I'm enjoying this. Are you doing all right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Let's back it up a month, because if you recall, last month was still 2010, and it was still on track to be the worst motherfucking year ever, and it totally was. It totally was. But back in
2010.
I'm talking about last month. Those innocent times of the last month.
Oh, yeah.
When Neil Peart died.
Oh,
yeah. We lost
that was the beginning of it. That's why all this is happening. You don't understand?
Rushless world.
It's a rushless world. What are you doing?
In the wake of that loss, we had a discussion about, the fact that there are bands out there that they're sort of like consolation prizes, sort of. Not Rush. Nothing will ever be Rush. We understand. But there are branches from that Rush tree that can be seen to this very day. Right?
Yeah,
and
probably exists.
You know who I would like to line up with is, in this discussion.
Are you holding this for a reason?
Yes, I'm hinting you.
Right.
Now they know.
Yeah. This is Consider the Source. They make their own hot sauce, by the way. That literally says Consider the Source.
Consider the sauce.
Where is that? Consider the sauce.
Your whole world is backwards.
They make their own hot sauce. Anyway, Consider the Source is a prog band.
A three-piece.
Three-piece that is, I call it world prog. That's wrong, though. They take elements from all types of music, instruments from all types of the world, and
playing styles from
and stuff like that. And they're a prog band that has gotten huge in the jam band scene, which is just amazing.
And let's just take a moment to discuss the 8-fingered, double-necked instrumental prowess of these guys.
Yeah. Well, that's their, if you see pins of theirs, you'll see this double neck. And the bottom is, a lot of times one's your lead guitar and the other's your rhythm guitar. What he does on his leads, he's got all these pedals that he can make sounds of a violin or a...
that's right into the beautiful... He's got a double neck guitar that's fretless on the top, and that sounds like a freaking theremin. It's awesome.
Insane.
Dude, I love them so much.
They're all instrumental.
Oh my God. They're so good.
And the thing is, they have a show that's coming up at 5 Points in Roanoke. That is on April 4th. Now, if we go 30 days, they're probably going to cancel that. So,
Maybe not. Maybe. Oh my God.
Maybe not. We don't know. Another band that really channels, but even more like that, especially with their knowledge, it's Marvin.
Oh God,
Danny, both Danny's, you guys are gods. And
we love you guys.
And the thing is, this isn't music you
So
can dance
yeah,
to. If
there's
you
no
ever want to
picture.
laugh, go to a Consider or a Marvin show. Watch all the heads out there ready to dance, and they can't. You can't. You don't dance to it. Now, there are going to be times where you think, "Oh, I've got it," and then you don't. And you don't dance because they just gone into some crazy time signature. There's no way you can follow it. So you just watch these guys play, and it's sick. And
Pentatonic tritone.
yeah, that's. I mean, if you one of the things Danny is just a wizard at is Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Which says really all you need to know about the quality of his playing.
Yeah, and actually, you need, because if you're seeing us, that means that you have the ability to see Marvin, who routinely streams before their shows as they go walking around the town, playing their amazing jazz in whatever town they're in. They're really cool. Oh my God.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Another one that's just personal to mine, or all these bands are instrumental. Death Scene out of Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been following these guys for a while, and they're known for their instrumental Tool covers. Okay, but that's not what they do. You know, they play Tool, but they have this whole other encompassing thing of rock that you've got to understand.
And they're in the jam scene for a reason.
All of these
too, which is that they are improvisational. You know, or somewhat, anyways.
They are.
And yeah.
So those three alone, just in the scene, right? And
Actively touring.
actively touring. And Consider probably charges a little more, but I guarantee you can go see Death Scene or Marvin for $10 or less.
And I'm gonna place horse race and odds that a certain percentage of you who do that are gonna come out saying, "Oh my God, they're the greatest of all time." I don't care which one of them it is.
Don't blame you at all. But again, it's not for everyone. I mean, how many people sit there and just go, I mean, I don't get it. Like Marvin has a great feature on their site. It's called Marvin Strikes Back. There's just people tearing apart their style.
Bro, do you even shred?
Right? Their shirt says, "Do you even shred, bro?" Right? So they get the people that are sitting there going, "Yeah, but can they write or anything like that?" Look, if it's not you, if you're waiting for something to happen, and a song that you know and stuff like that, steer clear, because you're not. You're not going to. But if you're looking for just top of the line musicianship in the prog genre, that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. By the way, I love you, Tool. All right. Tool is playing in Charlottesville, Virginia. You're looking at about $100+ for nosebleeds there. Look, if you haven't seen Tool, I can't recommend it enough. Tool is on another planet. But this is where bands like the bands we just talked about are so important. Because see them now, right, before they get big. And maybe they won't.
Because honestly, the chances of you getting to see, I'll say, King Crimson playing on the lawn at Wolf Trap.
Yeah. We're going to see King Crimson my bucket list band, I'm going to go see King Crimson. Now, for people that have known King Crimson or have seen King Crimson and followed them and stuff like that, I'm sure they're going to be, oh, dude, they're just old and stuff like that. I get it. So now I'm that guy, right, that's going to see this old band. Hey, it's a bucket list. Just like Tool. If you haven't seen Tool, okay, go ahead. Go pay the money. But, what's happening is that a lot of these awesome top tier bands are pricing heads like me right out of existence. I can't do it. Mo is playing at the Harvester Center later this year around Salem. And those tickets are like $35, $40 plus. Great Sky Bluegrass is playing in Charlottesville at the Sprint, at the amphitheater. And they're charging $45. Now that whole thing, the beauty of Sprint is it's all general admission. So you can sit on the lawn or walk all the way down to the front. I get it. $45 though.
By contrast, our lads right here are playing in Charlottesville tomorrow night for $12.
For $12.
And they're awesome.
They're fun and they're awesome. Now that isn't the same style of music as music. But I'm telling you, they say support live music. Support live music doesn't mean, the $150 show at Charlottesville.
Tool's going to be just fine, man.
They're already fine.
Tool's going to be fine.
Right?
Tool's going to be fine.
But it's this.
What about
our funny with the coronavirus? This is what's going to suffer. Tool's not going to suffer. The NHL and the NBA are not going to suffer. Okay? What's going to happen is bands that rely on touring 250 to 300 days out of the year on their own gas, looking for places to crash, playing behind a dumpster for nothing, right? Those are the bands that are going to crash. And I think it's
the hardest working ones.
The hardest working ones.
The hardest working ones.
And the ones that you see grow the most.
Unless you come forth.
I'm not saying that, look, if the coronavirus is going around and we all got to lock ourselves in for a month, okay.
That's when you inform yourself
on the other side,
what's going on
on the other side. It is imperative that we take some action. And listen to me, when people are losing their jobs and stuff like that, $10 might be too much, but is free too much?
What about just coming out to the show because it's awesome? People love other people.
Yeah.
That's certainly not an issue right now, maybe, but these trying times, what a good time would be to look at the live performances of a lot of these bands that we have mentioned, who are always playing nearby. Holy cow, man. I'm just looking at the list of canceled shows and realize that, like you and me have seen half of these announced canceled bands.
Well, for me, I've seen
in the past year, Humphrey, Spafford, Pigeons, Galactic. And that's because they're rad and you need to do that.
I've seen all of them. But the thing about it is that it's going to be the bands that don't Tweet is automatically one that I think of to where they come out with this new album, super excited. They're going through, there's just a lot of bands that are right on the cusp of maybe being able to quit their day jobs or, doing stuff like that are going to go under here. And
if only there was some way for them to get in front of a camera and stream live while viewers showered them with money to allow them to continue to do it.
I mean, that's how bands are making their albums now, right? I mean, isn't that what's it called? Where everyone throws money out?
I mean, what about bums and onesies? Is there a place for them? Because I can be that guy.
I'm worried. I'm worried about everybody and stuff like that. And I'm not one to panic. I'm just worried about something as minute as what happens to the artist. You know, what happens to where don't want to lose that.
And that is why it is our crusade, Scott, to bring the music of the world to our friends and viewers, these wonderful people who potentially might someday shower us with money, although that's not necessarily the end game. Ticket to Space is the end game.
Ticket to Space?
Ticket, nothing.
Space.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that though. But someday Elon's gonna go back, he's gonna say, wow, man, this dude was talking about fucking Goose before they were like a thing.
Well, that's too late. Goose is huge. By the way, I have never seen anything like the rise of Goose in the past fucking 12 minutes. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it. Stunning.
This goes, may I tell a story?
Yeah.
Tell a story? Okay. So, the year was approximately, 1990. My bro Nathan calls me up. He's like, dude, you gotta come down to Carolina with us and see this fucking band. It's got that dude who is the drummer in that band that you love, man. Whatever. He said something like that. He's a lawyer. He's very articulate, unlike me. Anyways, I said no. And they went and saw Nirvana in an empty fucking bar and broke into the green room and stole their Celestial Seasonings herbal tea and put that tea in the fucking cabinet so that every time I was over there, I would open the cabinet and I would see the Celestial Seasonings and I would say, oh, dude, I could have seen Nirvana.
I mean, I get it.
The point, man, is you don't want to see that fucking tea. Don't see the fucking tea. See the band. Don't see the fucking tea.
That's true. I don't know. There's a lot, and you never know. But at this point, it's almost cliche to say support live music. If and when this whole thing blows over, y'all better get out there. We all might be broke in that, but we got to get out there because, well, first of all, the weather's going to be nicer. Yeah, isn't this what we've been waiting for? Isn't this why we hole up in a place like Virginia for 5 months and watch our gas bill shoot up, right? And just waiting until the warmth comes so we can get out, rejuvenate our souls, go see live music, be with our friends, and do all of that. And now, this.
Escape the grip of the icy cold hand of death.
Yeah.
And wintertime. I'm sorry.
Escape the grip. Say that again? Escape the grip of the icy cold.
I would think it was get a hand job from the icy cold grip of death through winter. No, that.
So that's it. I'm out of cigarettes and I gotta give it some.
Yeah, yeah. There's our
We
so
will continue to post updates on the shows that are getting canceled. If there are dates, such as talk rescheduling already for the 9:30 Club show at the Motet, we'll get you in on that. Right now, when I see postponed, I'm thinking canceled. So don't even look that far into whatever. Um, Little side note, and again, we mentioned this earlier. Papadocio has not canceled their show on Sunday at the Broadberry in Richmond yet. So I don't see how the state has declared a state of emergency, how it can't be, but
oh, the Steel Pulse song. Stop saying that.
I'm saying that.
You've never seen such urgency.
Thank you. Until then, like I said before, do the best you can.
Who do they think they're fooling?
Wash your hands a lot. Damn, it sounds like I'm talking to kindergartners. Please wash your hands. And we'll just keep you updated as more information comes in.
And remember that we are neither instructors nor moral guides on your path in life. Okay, that ought to be about it.
Okay.
Bye, we love you.